Hey TMFG community, Carlo Cancino here with John Iaconetti. In this video, we're going to reveal why most Canadians feel behind on retirement savings and how shifting your perspective changes everything about what enough actually means.
We've analyzed data from Statistics Canada and Fidelity Canada's retirement report, and what we found is eye-opening. Most Canadians compare themselves to charts that make them feel inadequate.
Right.
But here's the truth. Those charts were never designed for Canadian reality.
And that's exactly why we're making this video today. Because your confidence about retirement shouldn't depend on American benchmarks, scary headlines, or million-dollar myths. It should depend on what really matters: income, lifestyle, and Canada's unique retirement system.
By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how your savings stack up and why you might be doing better than you think. So let's get right into it.
Okay, John, let's start with the biggest misconception, the idea that you need $1 million to retire.
That number gets thrown around everywhere, but it's completely misleading. Statistics Canada data shows that the median Canadian household aged 55 to 64 has between $420,000 and $500,000 in retirement savings.
The problem isn't how much people have saved, it's how they see their savings. When you compare yourself to the wrong benchmarks, it feels like you're failing, even when you're on the right track. It's like comparing kilometers to miles. It's the wrong measurement system. Generic charts don't factor in Canada's healthcare, Canada pension plan, old age security benefits. They were designed around US assumptions like private healthcare and no national pension.
So if you ever felt like you're behind, you're not. You're just looking through the wrong lens. Once you switch your perspectives, you'll realize your savings aren't small. They're part of a much bigger, more stable retirement system.
Which brings us to the next piece: how to measure success properly.
So instead of asking, how much should I have saved? The better question is, how much income will I need to replace when I stop working?
Right.
We call this income replacement. For most Canadians, replacing 70 to 80% of pre-retirement income provides a comfortable lifestyle. Because your expenses drop when you're not commuting, paying CBP, or saving for retirement anymore.
Well, and this is where it gets interesting. CPP and old age security can often replace up to 40 to 50% of your pre-retirement income before you even touch $1 of your personal savings. So your RRSPs, your TFSAs, and employer pensions only need to fill that remaining 20 to 30% gap. And that's why someone with $400,000 or $500,000 saved can retire securely. They're not replacing 100% of their income, just the difference.
Yeah, and think of it this way. Your savings aren't the entire meal, they're the side dip. Your main course is already coming from the Canadian retirement system.
And that's a huge shift in your mindset. Because when you measure success by income adequacy rather than total dollars, everything changes. So why don't we take a closer look at the system that's doing most of the heavy lifting?
The Canadian system is one of the strongest in the world when it comes to guaranteed retirement income. Canada Pension Plan can pay up to $16,375 a year, and Old Age Security adds another $7,707. Together, that's over $24,000 per person, inflation indexed for life.
Now, multiply that by 2 if you're a couple. That's almost $50,000 a year of guaranteed inflation-protected income before even considering your savings.
And here's something Americans envy: healthcare. Canadian retirees don't have to budget hundreds of thousands for medical costs, which alone changes the game. So if you're ever stressed about needing a 7-figure nest egg, understand this: Canada's system was built to reduce that pressure.
That's exactly it. Your savings are there to enhance your lifestyle, not to fund survival. So now that you've seen the foundation, the next question is, how do you make every dollar of savings work harder?
So one of the most overlooked advantages Canadians have is our tax system in retirement.
Right. Strategic coordination between RRSPs, RIFs, and TFSAs can make a huge difference. With careful planning, you can reduce your lifetime taxes and increase your after-tax income without saving a single extra dollar. Let's look at an example.
Yeah.
Pension income splitting can lower a couple's combined tax rate by close to 15%. That means your $60,000 income could feel like $70,000 compared to someone who isn't optimizing.
And remember that TFSA withdrawals are completely tax-free, giving you the flexibility to control your taxable income in retirement.
What's the takeaway? It's fairly simple. A $400,000 portfolio, when withdrawn efficiently, can produce the same lifestyle as a $600,000 portfolio with poor tax planning. So it's not just how much you've saved, it's how wisely you use it.
And when you combine that with the next perspective, age-based expectations, you'll see why many Canadians are on track.
John, let's discuss realistic savings at different stages of life, because most people compare themselves to impossible goals.
Exactly. If you're in your 40s with around $100,000 to $200,000 saved, you're right where most Canadians are. You've still got 2 decades of growth ahead of you.
What about in your 50s? If you've built up 300 to 400,000, you're absolutely on track, especially once you factor in CPP and old age security.
And for pre-retirees in their early 60s with $420,000 to $500,000, you're not far behind. In fact, you're perfectly positioned to replace 70 to 80% of your income comfortably.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, Canada's retirement model rewards consistency, not perfection. So we need to stop comparing our savings to a chart that wasn't built for us. You compare it to your actual life, your income, your goals, and your lifestyle.
Because when you do that, you'll realize retirement success isn't about hitting a number, it's about building a plan that's going to work for you.
Right.
When you combine income replacement, guaranteed CPP, old age security, tax efficiency, healthcare, and realistic expectations, you start to see the full picture.
And I'd say that picture is a lot brighter than most people would think, because Canada's retirement structure quietly gives average savers a huge advantage.
Most Canadians don't need to oversave or give up their lifestyle just to feel secure. They need to understand how their system already works. When you know how to coordinate your savings, taxes, and benefits, retirement becomes less about stress and more about freedom.
And I think that's where the real shift is. It's shifting from fear of not having enough to confidence that you've planned well. Now that you understand why Canadian retirement savings reality differs from misleading benchmarks and how shifting your perspective changes everything, you can start planning with confidence instead of worry.
Now, if you want help implementing a complete Canadian retirement optimization plan that combines income, taxes, and timing, click the link below to watch a short video we've created that walks you through the process.
The truth is, retirement isn't about how much you've saved. It's about how clearly you see the path ahead. So don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all the social channels. We release new episodes every Thursday.
We'll see you in the next video.